The Buckingham Palace samurai sword attacker has told a courtroom that the Queen is the enemy of Allah and Allah tells him to fight. Do you remember that guy who had a samurai sword outside Buckingham Palace? And it turns out that he was an Uber driver and he slashed a police officer and they wrestled him to the ground and, well, it was all forgotten very quickly as usual. Do you remember that? Well, The Guardian reported this at the time. They said, a man arrested outside Buckingham Palace armed with a 4-foot sword repeatedly shouted Allahu Akbar, or as the press would tell you these days, God is great, as police struggled to subdue him, Scotland Yard has said. These unarmed officers were injured, 2 receiving cuts to their hands while they're detaining the man just after 8:30 p.m. on Friday. Police are treating the incident as suspected terrorism. Scotland Yard said the man drove at a police van just outside Buckingham Palace in a blue Toyota Prius and stopped in front of it. Officers subdued the suspect, a 26-year-old from Luton, Bedfordshire, there's a surprise, with CS spray. And now the man's going through the court process. So he's 27 now. He's denied preparing acts of terrorism. What is turning up outside Buckingham Palace with a 4-foot sword, slashing people outside the head of state's home? Obviously terrorism. But he claims that he only wanted to get killed. But jurors were told during the court case that he changed his social media profile pictures before he went out and did it to a green bird, which is referencing himself becoming a martyr. So if he's referring to himself as a martyr before he goes out and gets killed, obviously he's going to do more than just get killed. Obviously he wants to go out and do something. So denying preparing acts of terrorism, who knows, might well work. We know what the justice system is like these days. People get off. As I reported yesterday, you can rape kids systematically for long periods of time and hold people hostage and only get 12 years in prison, meaning you'll probably leave after 6. So I don't suspect there's going to be that much of a sentence for this guy anyway. But the BBC reports on this story. They say that he allegedly wrote to his sister in a suicide note that he left her before he went out and did this. He said, "The Queen and her soldiers will all be in the hellfire. They go to war with Muslims around the world and kill them without any mercy." The trial now continues. But I guess the Queen's former chaplain, do you remember this, when he quit over a passage of the Quran being read in church, was right. I guess he was right. In 2017, the Queen's chaplain resigned, and the Express reported on it at the time. They said, the Reverend Dr. Gavin Ashenden stepped down from his role following after a section from the Quran that teaches Jesus is not the Son of God was read during a service to mark Epiphany. Reverend Ashenden said the reading at St Mary's Episcopal Cathedral in Glasgow could be viewed as blasphemy and is indicative of the rise of Islam in Britain. Good on him, good on him. Speaking to express.co.uk, Reverend Ashenden said, "My first thoughts were astonishment that any Christian church, let alone a cathedral, would consider introducing not only a reading from the Quran instead of the Bible, but one which denied the Bible's record of who Christ really was." Wouldn't you have thought people have taken the warning from the Queen's very own chaplain when he talked about this stuff? But no, of course, he was laughed off by the far left. He was demonized by the press, Islamophobe. That's how it goes these days. Recognize the real threat against our own Queen and you're just a mental, crazy Islamophobe. The Queen and the institution of monarchy is one of the most recognisably English institutions all over the world. The Queen is loved not just by Brits, but by her subjects from all over the world, from all over the Commonwealth, and from people who aren't even her subjects. People in America still adore and love this institution, and the Queen for being such an amazing servant of the people. And jihadis committing terror in the name of Allah hate us. They hate this. They hate our institutions. They hate our Queen. They hate the monarchy, and they are willing to destroy everything that makes us uniquely British. From slashing police officers with samurai swords outside of Buckingham Palace to reading passages that deny the existence of Jesus in our own churches. This is what they're doing to destroy everything that's uniquely British, Western, and Christian. And I would hope that events like this would change the minds of representatives of the Church of England and members of the Church of England. But unfortunately, I don't really see that happening anytime soon. If you like that and want to see more, remember to like and subscribe and download the new Rebel app from the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store.